Hello everyone. You probably would have heard about this term Git but do not understand that what exactly it is, or you may be using it but not sure of why it was created, what was the reason, and what is the core reason for creating this software. So basically it's one of the most popular software in the market, and we are going to understand it with a very normal example, very layman example as to what was the problem statement and why it was created. Okay, so let's get into that. So let's say you are planning to write a book. Okay, now you can correlate this with writing a presentation, creating a deck, or something like that. So basically we'll take this example that you're writing a book. Okay, now you have created, you've written some documentation, and now you want it to be reviewed. Okay, here I'm taking just three personas here. So for example, one is your friend, one is a writing expert, and then there are proofreaders. Okay, so once you have completed one chapter, what you will do is you will give your draft version to your friend, you will give your draft version to the expert writer, and you'll give it to the proofreader. Okay, what they will do is they will take a look at your documentation and they'll give their suggestions accordingly. This person might delete something, this person might give some ideas in terms of how the approach should be there, and this person is going to give what spelling mistakes, what paragraph settings, or what is grammatically not correct. Okay, now what you will do is you will see all of their inputs and you will do those changes in your version. Okay, now let's say your friend has suggested something, you find it right, and then you are adding it, but some things you are not uh, accepting that, or you're not fine with that, so you're skipping that, something like that. Okay, now this could be one process in which you are manually checking these things and updating your document. Okay, now if you're writing your book, it is not going to be just one chapter. Let's say you are planned in total of 10 chapters. Okay, so you're probably going to do this process iteratively. So let's say version 1, version 2, and similarly you will go till version 10. Okay, we'll just assume that 10 versions you're writing. Okay, so same process you are going to repeat with your friend expert in proofreading. Okay, now let's say once version 1 is done and you are in, let's say, version 5, you think, okay, what was there in version 1 was something which is better fitting the scenario right now, and I need to change it accordingly. Okay, now since you are managing files manually, it becomes very difficult to go and refer at what point of time what things have happened. Okay, now let's understand in this way that if you have 10 versions here and you have probably set up certain timelines, so let's say first of each month, so first of Jan, and then first of Feb, and something like that. In 10 months you have planned certain milestones that something like this you will create your book in 10 months. Okay, we're just taking for an example, so whatever is the first of that month. Okay, now when the version 1 was happening, what I have done is I have collated all the feedbacks which I have got, and I have made a final version of version 1. And then on after 1st of Jan, since I have committed, like I have decided, okay, this is going to be the final version. Now whatever I'll work will be part of version 2. So that will be finalized on 1st of Feb. Okay. So if you are going to manage all your files, it will become very tedious task in terms of referring to the old versions or what changes have happened at what point in time. What if a software comes into picture which solves all this problem? You can basically focus on your book, in which you will write something, you will get your friend suggestion, you can easily accommodate that into your final version, and then once you decided that this version is final, you make a copy of everything and then you move to the next thing, but you don't have to refer in terms of files. But if you want, you can take a look at it at any point in history. Okay, so that's where Git comes into picture. Okay, so let me put this icon here. So we basically call it as taking a snapshot of the version. Okay, so let's say my version 1 is finalized on 1st of Jan. Okay, what I'll do is I will take a snapshot of that. And how will I do that? So basically in terms of Git we call it commit, but basically what commit means is saving that particular thing. So on 1st Jan, whatever changes I have taken and I have decided, okay, these are the final changes, and I've finalized one particular version, I'll say on 1st Jan take a snapshot. So whatever changes are happening on 1st Feb or 1st March or whatever, it at any point in time, if I want to take a look at the previous files, I can do that, and that is where Git will come into picture. So basically what Git will do is it will track all your files and whatever the history version changes you have done. And obviously if I put a milestone of 1st Jan, you have to commit those changes so that uh, Git understands that I have to take a version, I have to take a snapshot of this particular version. Okay, now this is one important use case or the origination for which the software is created. Now understand this in a different sense, that uh, if two people are working, okay, if two software developers are working on one particular project, okay, and one person is taking a look, he's changing something, the another person is taking a look, he's changing something. So if there is a common place in which all their files could be managed, so I don't need to interact in that way for each and every change and need to explain. That person can go and take a look and do perform whatever updates have been done. He can take a look at that and then they can perform the changes, the other person can take a look at that. So that's where the central repository concept comes into picture, where you can share all this. So it's very good for collaboration, for as well as for history, for keeping a track of your files and the history version. So that's the core concept of Git, uh, and predominantly it is used in software development because we will have different features coming up into the application and all will keep building, so we'll have different versions. But in case we want to roll back or we want to refer to a functionality being added in some particular release, that we can always refer, and it becomes very easier in terms of management as well as collaboration. So both Git and GitHub essentially provide similar functionality, like in terms of the core concept. Git is basically on a local copy on your system, and GitHub is basically an online repository. In case of GitHub, you, if you want, you can skip all the commands, the basic, uh, the technical commands, and you can use it as a tool as well, in which you can drag and drop your code and all those kind of things. In case of Git, you have to write the commands in order to push your files and do some certain changes. You have to do that, but essentially the core concept is same. In case of GitHub, you will have few other features as well on top of that, which the website provides, but essentially the core concept is same. And I'm going to explain about how to download, how to work with the commands. And I believe it's good to start with Git so you understand the core concept, and then you can integrate both Git and GitHub as well. So whatever is in your local, you can push it to the online repository which anyone in your team can refer, and similarly the other way, and you can copy the files from GitHub. And it's an amazing tool which a lot of people use, and it's very popular. So in case you're not aware about this, I would highly recommend to learn this particular tool, because this is used in a lot of places and it's very helpful. Thank you very much. If you found this video useful, do like, share and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye.